Hello everyone, American Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, another week, more Miami Heat news to talk about. Still not really any update on the Damian Lillard trade situation, so really nothing to talk about there. But there's some news about Heat's participation in the in-season tournament and Heat's schedule for the 2023 and 2024 regular season was also released. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, in terms of the in-season tournament, obviously every team in the league is going to be participating in this, including the Heat. And the Heat are in Eastern Conference Group B, along with the Bucks, Hornets, Wizards, and Knicks. So it's an interesting group, and also the in-season tournament games do count toward the regular season. There's 4 in the group, and then there are games after that for teams that make it out of those groups. So definitely interesting. So what are your thoughts on the in-season tournament, and more specifically the Heat's in-season tournament group?
Yeah, I mean, our group isn't too difficult. I think we have a good chance of advancing out of the group. As far as the tournament itself, I don't really care about it that much, to be honest with you. Curious to see how much other fans care about it, and especially how much the players really care about it. I mean, I guess, because it does count as part of the regular season record, it does go towards determining whether they qualify for the playoffs or what seed they get. Obviously, the games do matter, so I'm curious. Like I said, I'm not super excited, but I'm open to the idea.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm not sure that there's any that's really that necessary, but could be interesting. I think in terms of how seriously teams take it, I mean, there are regular season games, as you said, so they're going to take it somewhat seriously. As far as, really being committed to trying to win it, I don't know. I think certainly the top teams in the conference probably aren't really going to care about it that much because they're trying to win, the actual championship. Teams that are lower down or, maybe not even would be expected to make the playoffs, the Heat's group, I'd say Wizards and Hornets are almost certainly not going to make the playoffs. I'm sure the Bucks and Knicks will. But yeah, I think maybe some of those teams that are not contenders or not even really playoff teams might care about it a little bit more, because at least they can come out of the season saying we won this tournament, which is could count for something, I suppose. So yeah, we'll have to see how seriously teams take it. I think it could be interesting. I don't think the Heat really have that difficult a group. I think the Heat are definitely better than the Hornets and the Wizards. Probably finish with a better record than the Knicks, because I think the Heat, even without the addition of Damian Lillard, have definitely strengthened the team this offseason. Obviously, the Bucks will be tough competition because they've been one of the best teams in the East, at least in the regular season, for some time now. So definitely be interesting to see what happens with that. Again, I'm not, it's not a super exciting idea to me, but we have to see. Maybe it'll be more interesting than I think. So moving on, as I said, the Heat's regular season schedule was released today, and definitely some interesting takeaways. As far as the Heat's first 4 games of the regular season, the Heat start the regular season at home against the Nuggets, and then travel to Boston, and Minnesota, and then Milwaukee. So kind of a tough stretch there to start the season, to be honest. So those are the Heat's games in October, in the first month of the season. So definitely an interesting start. Could be a bit of a challenging one. What are your thoughts on the Heat's first 4 games in the regular season, and maybe some predictions for the Heat's October record?
Yeah, I mean, it is a difficult schedule to start the season. I guess it'll give us a pretty good idea right away of how good this team is, although, of course, it's still early. The team could strengthen a lot. But I think if we can go 3-1 in those 4 games, we should be pretty happy with that start.
Yeah, I think 3-1 would be really good. Would be a really good start. Obviously the Nuggets just won the title, of course, against the Heat, fortunately. But anyway, of course, away against Boston is always tough, as is away against Milwaukee, and the Heat have kind of struggled against the Timberwolves in recent years, unfortunately. So could definitely be a little bit challenging. But yeah, I think the Heat could go 3-1 those games. Obviously, the Damian Lillard trade saga weighs heavily on that. But yeah, definitely get an idea of what this team is made of right away, at least the version of the team that starts the season. So one last thing, the Heat also are finally getting a Christmas Day game. We're playing at home against the 76ers on Christmas. This is the Heat's first Christmas Day game in a while, which is actually a little bit surprising, but so definitely be an interesting matchup. Obviously, the Sixers have a lot going on right now, and not really too much positive with Harden, Burley. Seem never want to play for them ever again. But it should definitely be an interesting matchup. So real quick, what are your thoughts on the Heat's Christmas Day game at home against the Sixers?
Yeah, I mean, it's great for us to get a Christmas game. The Sixers look like they're going to be a mess this season, most likely. So if they are, hopefully we should be able to smash them in front of a national audience on Christmas. And I'm not a huge fan of the Sixers, so I'd really enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, the Heat in general in recent years have played well at home against the Sixers. I think definitely be a big opportunity. I think that he could definitely win that game, especially with all the turmoil that is going on with the Sixers, because it could still certainly be going on, in 4 months or so at Christmas time. So, definitely a big opportunity. Hopefully the Heat take advantage of that, get a big Christmas Day win from a big audience. So there you have it. Still no news on the Damian Lillard situation, but some interesting stuff about the Heat's in-season tournament participation. They're in a relatively easy group, so it'll be interesting to see how the Heat do in that tournament, and also definitely a challenging start to the regular season. And for the Heat, for their schedule, hopefully they're up to it and can start the season off positively and put some wins together.
Yep.